Welcome back to My Mythical Meta. My name is Travis. Do you ever deal with sticky situations in your gaming group, even with people who are your best friends or even relationship partners? Keep listening to hear how we have saved 3 marriages, and we can help your gaming group too. Happy late Thanksgiving to all of our listeners in the United States. My brother Benjamin's birthday was last week, so I gave the entire crew the holiday week off, and instead of a new episode, I'm compiling the proof for all of our new listeners over the past year that we give great relationship advice, especially to gaming groups and couples, in order to resolve conflicts through gaming. We are so good at it, in fact, that we have saved 3 marriages with our gaming advice. Gathered for you today in this episode are 3 episodes in which we give couples gaming advice, and we received feedback saying that our advice helped their relationship. We encourage listeners to reach out to us with news from the Warfront questions by commenting or emailing us at mymythicalmeta@gmail.com. Heads up, this is more of an audio show because we had not delved into video recording at the time these episodes were made. So close your eyes, lean back, and listen to our great relationship advice for gamers. On with the show.
News from the Warfront.
I love how you do it every time just to then cut it and replace it.
Yep, just to cut it and replace it with my effect. It's just too fun. Okay, we have a post on Reddit from our board games. If you didn't listen to episode 7, it was an awesome board game showcase. Go back where we talk about the reasons we play games and then games that facilitate all of those reasons. It was a really fun episode with lots of great games addressed. So this post comes from our board games, and the poster asks, how do I be less sour when constantly losing? I'm going to give the TLDR that this person plays board games with their husband, and they say it feels like I'm constantly losing. I understand that there are learning curves, people learn at different rates, etc., but my husband comes from a Warhammer tabletop gaming background. So he is used to chunky stuff, is what they call it. And they describe how their husband is just constantly winning all of the board games they play, and how they struggle sometimes to learn every new game. They give a little background story about how they grew up playing Uno, and that they didn't even know what Settlers of Catan was until 2021. So this is a precious baby when it comes to board gaming, and they feel bad constantly losing. It says, I know going into a game that I'll probably lose. Sometimes I'll just realize halfway through that I can't bring it back. They even say that sometimes they've asked their husband to dial it back, but they know that's not fun for him, and that they themselves feel lame that they asked in the first place. So they're trying to overcome this discouraging feeling of constantly losing against someone who's just a more experienced gamer than they are. So we came up with some ideas about how hopefully we can help. Derek, start us off.
So my, I guess, recommendation is that these two people are clearly in 2 different experience levels. Mm-hmm. He's got a ton of board game experience, from what it sounds like. Plays Warhammer, which is pretty intensive.
Oh yeah.
And if the most complicated game at that point was Uno for the person, you're not going to be able to beat them unless you keep practicing and, playing and learning the rules, in and out. You have to stick with something. Everyone that's good at something started out being bad at that thing. So I think stick with it. You can watch tutorials. There are tons of people out there who make strategy guides and other, little thought experiments or whatever that you could explore.
I totally agree. So many board games out there have not only tutorial videos, but strategy videos about good engines to create if you're doing one of those economy or worker-placed games, like Agricola or something like that, where you have to build up your own system or strategy. There are lots of resources for that too. So yeah, telling your husband to stick with one game so that you can practice it and learn it and get better at it and attempt that growth mindset that we talked about earlier. You're not as good as your husband yet. That's not the only advice. Benjamin, give us another one.
Yeah, I think a great one is to play cooperative games, and we've mentioned a whole bunch in one of our more recent episodes. But at the early stages of learning games like Catan is a game like Pandemic, and there's so many variations on that you can scale what you want to do. There's a gift that Travis gave me not too long ago. There's Pandemic Rapid Response, which is a very basic form of Pandemic. So there's a lot of games like that where you can get better at games generally. You can see the strategy, you can walk through things with your husband, you can go through all these things where y'all are working together to achieve a common goal, so you win or lose together. Mm-hmm. As you play those games, you do get better at playing games in general, right? The strategies you use to beat the board are similar to strategies you would use to beat other people, right? You got to move your people to the right places to access the right resources at the right time and play your cards right and all those things. So if you're able to absorb what's happening in a cooperative game, then you will get better at gaming in general, but you won't feel like you're losing or that your husband's going easy on you.
Yeah, my advice is to, and this can go along with playing cooperative games, is spend more time in the learning phase of games rather than just going through the rules, once or reading the rule book or whatever. Have your husband spend more time going through, maybe playing with his hand revealed or having him think aloud while he's making moves. That way you can see the gears turning and you can understand the rationale for what he's doing and kind of do think alouds and play alongs. And like Benjamin said when in our Teach Your Game episode, where it's not necessarily about winning in that phase. It doesn't matter who wins or who loses in that phase. What matters is that you're learning the material. And once you've learned the game more, you will understand more of the strategy and of whatever that game requires. Randy, hit us with another one.
One of my suggestions was maybe just, like you're playing multiple games from what the user was saying. So since she's from a different kind of background of more like Uno, my thought is play more games that have randomness and variance in the game itself. Like Uno, a lot of it is like, well, yeah, you can strategize a lot, but you can't account for your opponent just getting like 4 draw 4s in a row and slamming you with them,
Yeah,
so
you
play
can't control
games that
the
have
card
more
you're going to draw.
randomness.
Absolutely.
Things that, I guess that don't rely so heavily on a strategy. And, and if that's more of what this person enjoys, well, lean into that and balance back and forth between them of like, okay, this is more your speed, this is more my speed, As long as you're both having fun, that's the most important part. So if you're not having fun doing only the really, what they say, chunky.
Yeah, they
chunky?
call them chunky games.
Yeah,
the word that pops into my head
games,
is crunchy, where it's
crunchy,
like
yeah,
rule
same.
after rule and interaction after interaction. Yeah.
Make sure you're playing something that's, more up your avenue.
Yeah. Play games with more variance, more randomness. So we're kind of talking about,
or even more people.
Or more people, absolutely. Because every added person is going to change how the game goes. And the last one is to alternate playing games that he knows and games he doesn't. Maybe the two of you need to learn a new game together. That way you have a more even playing field. And again, stick around in that learning phase. Do think alouds, play alongs, do that I do, we do, you do that we talked about. I want to say that was episode 4 or 5. Anything else, guys?
Did we say, like, I guess kind of like studying, like if you know that your husband's doing one strategy, go to YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Learn new strategies of the game that you're playing. You may discover what it is, like what the strategy that he's playing is called. And then like, okay, well, I want to look up how to counter.
Yeah, find the silver bullet. Find the rock, paper, scissors interaction that you need to to beat him.
Yeah, exactly. And Benjamin had mentioned in a previous podcast about a game that the American, I guess, like the American Pro Tour of the certain board game had like one meta, and then like the European side had a different meta. So when someone came over and played in the American version, like people weren't used to counteracting this European's playstyle. Ben, what was the game called again? Or Travis, whoever knows.
That was Victory in the Pacific, and if you go and look at the episode where we talk about that, somebody helpfully put in the comments, they explained the situation in great detail. Oh. It was episode 3 where we talked about who we are, what and all of that.
Yep, you're totally right.
And,
it was episode 3.
And one of our listeners in the comments went really into detail about it. So thank you, listener. Appreciate you helping us out on that. And so yeah, that basically there were two different play styles in two different metas, and then one when they crossed over, they were able to take serious advantage of that in the bidding system in that game because they didn't care as much about getting a certain side, all this stuff. And eventually the American meta had to adapt to that, and now both metas are a lot more mixed than they were at the time. But yeah, I think that's a very helpful thing for applying to this situation where you've discovered a bunch of games that your husband knows really well, but I bet he has a play style just like everyone that we've been talking about today has a play style. And just go find articles about how to counteract that play style and surprise him like Randy surprised us with Smash Brothers.
Buying a whole console and a game, practicing for hours and hours.
Yeah, it will really surprise him when the two of you go to play Warhammer 40K and you have your own fully painted armada of ships, all of which specifically have a strategy meant to defeat his guys. That won't be suspicious at all.
No. I'm not saying you have to go that detailed into it, but I'm just saying just being able to know, like, oh, well, I know that this unit has some cool, like, I don't know how Warhammer works. I'm just going to make something up and say, like, this unit combos well with this other unit.
Right.
So I'm going to pick these for my team today.
Yeah, I love that. So just to summarize for our News to the Warfront, play games with more variance. That's going to make it less predictable, less reliant on strategy, and you'll give luck a little more pull. Play cooperative games where you win and lose together. Spend more time in the learning phase of games where you listen to each other think aloud through your plays. And then practice. Practice, practice, practice. If it is one game that you're playing, over and over, then, watch a tutorial or a strategy video or read an article. That way you can get better at this game. It's clearly important to you. This post really stuck out to me because this is somebody who saw their own experience and I think, wants it to be better for both people. They acknowledged that their meta has a weakness right now. And I think that's a great person for us to reach out to. And I think that means that they're already on a great start.
If you're the husband in this situation, understand that your wife is trying to create a healthy meta where she improves. It sounds like you're not spending enough time in the teaching phases of these games. Be more accommodating. Meet her halfway on this. Pick some new games that you're not good at. Maybe you've never looked at the rules of before. Mm-hmm. Purposely don't look at strategy articles so that she has a chance to do that. Things like that to try to even up the skill level every once in a while and make this a meta where she can win 30-40% of the time at least.
Yeah, we've mentioned this a couple times, but the more evenly matched you and the members of your meta are, the healthier your meta will be. All right.
Exactly.
Any last comments before Benjamin's words of wisdom?
No.
Take it away.
Listeners, you've heard a lot today about the different ways we play, the different rivalries, and we've made comments about making it personal and going out to beat each other and doing a lot to counteract different styles of play. But what I really hope you took away from today was how much we have gone out of our way to accommodate each other, to care about the others having fun, to create an environment where people have grown significantly, mm-hmm. where we've developed not just different play styles and different ways to play the game, but we've grown as people. A healthy gaming group, a healthy meta consists of people who communicate well. It consists of people who are focused on the environment that they create, that are accommodating and caring. And once again, this doesn't just go with gaming. It goes with everything. You need to consider the people that you are around, and if you want a healthy family, a healthy work environment, a healthy game group, you need to do your part in considering the needs of others and make sure that you accommodate their needs. Now, that doesn't mean to put yourself third, fourth, last on the list. You need to watch out for yourself too. But it does mean that you adjust your priorities so that you can get what you want while getting what they want. That fun is not a zero-sum game. Healthy relationships are not a zero-sum game. Everyone can achieve a higher level by working together to create a healthy and fun group.
The end of another great episode. Beautiful.
Loved it.
Beautiful work. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Hey, it's me again, Travis here, to interject. After we responded to that post on Reddit, I would always go into the post and say, hey, your post was featured on an episode. And I actually received this message back from the original poster. Hi there. I wanted to pop by and thank you guys for all of your advice. My husband and I listened to it yesterday. We definitely are going to do more of the learning phase and having him have his cards revealed and talk through his process a little more. One of the issues we run into is even when learning new games, because of his background in Warhammer and crunchy games, he still has a slight advantage. But that's where spending more time in the learning phase, I think, can help me. You guys seem like a super fun group of guys, and we enjoyed listening. Thanks again. So, a positive message directly in response to the advice we gave, saying thank you for the advice. It's going to help us a lot. Stay tuned for another episode in which we received a message saying that they appreciated our advice.
News from the Warfront.
We received an amazing email over the holiday break. It was something so special, and I've already shared it with you guys, but I wanted to share it out for the public just to see what can happen if you do the things we talk about. So this was an email sent directly to us from a guy named Matt. He said, "Hi, My Mythical Meta crew. Wanted to share a big win with you guys that I think you will appreciate. I started listening to the My Mythical Meta podcast around October, in episode 11, and quickly became a fan of the show. After listening to a few of your earlier episodes, I thought it would be good to learn Magic the Gathering with my wife. I've played games all my life, and my wife and I enjoy playing games with friends, but we've always found it hard to play one-on-one or co-op games together. But I wanted to give it a shot, thinking we could alter the power level of decks if needed to make it a fairer game. When we first started playing, I applied a lot of the concepts that you talk about in your episodes, with the goal of getting her to enjoy the game and have fun, rather than trying to win. It's now been about 3 months of us playing a few times a week, and she's caught on to the mechanics and keywords really well, to where it's always felt like pretty even games between us. The other night, after we finished a few games, I asked her if she had a good time, and she said, yes, especially since you don't make me feel stupid anymore. For years of us playing games, I was making her feel dumb unintentionally by seeming impatient or uninterested. Now, she's the one asking if we can play Magic. It's been a really great hobby that we've been able to pick up together and has helped change my attitude and approach to playing games with others. I enjoy what you guys are doing. Look forward to Season 2. P.S. Since I'm new to Magic, I really enjoy hearing about the decks y'all build. Helps me think outside the box when building my decks. Matt."
Wow.
Oh, guys, isn't that simply incredible?
That's great, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, we are so glad that our advice helped you and your wife to play games and to have a good time together. I've been re-listening to some old episodes, and Benjamin said in a previous episode, marriage is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
So, of course there's all the work, but marriage should be a good time. And I am so glad that learning a new game helped create an even playing field and a fun environment for you and your wife. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I don't know. What do you guys want to say? What do you guys want to say to Matt?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was on the verge of tears just when we first heard this story, because it really made it feel like what we were doing here mattered, that there were people out there who could learn good communication techniques and how to make things fun and interesting for the people around them. I mean, sometimes it just feels like we're just having fun with ourselves, and yeah, we've got some listeners, but the feedback really helps it feel like it matters.
I mean, the YouTube numbers and the Spotify numbers are not super high right now. I mean, that's to be expected with any young podcast, but to get a letter like this makes it feel like we chose a topic that is useful and that matters. That I think it's important that we continue. This is just really exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
Derek, Randy, did y'all want to share anything?
I guess I don't have.
Yeah, I don't have anything that's already been said, but, definitely appreciate the feedback and glad that our ramblings could help.
Yeah, glad that there's actually some substance to our.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just us talking about Magic, although that is kind of the medium in which we talk about games. I had kind of worried in Season 1, like, should we pivot? Are there things we need to change about the podcast? And of course, there's always going to be room to grow and make this a better show. But I'm glad to know that season 1 has had an impact on somebody. I used to say when I was teaching that as long as I helped somebody, then it was worth it. It was worth the kids who hated me. It was worth the kids who got mad at me for telling them to put their ID on, if I managed to help a few kids along the way. And this kind of makes me feel the same way. So that's really exciting, Matt, and we appreciate your feedback. We encourage you to write more, ask questions. If you've got magic questions, let's chat. Let's talk. Hope to hear from you again soon.
And I also want this to be an encouragement for anyone else who's listening who maybe they have a good time hearing what we have to say, but don't necessarily or haven't necessarily tried to put anything we've talked about into practice, that this can change your life, right? Now, it sounds silly. I'm just going to go ahead. This is my words of wisdom.
Yeah.
We've chosen to talk about gaming, and gaming is often seen as this not very serious, not important aspect of people's lives.
Like a leisure time, like a free time, like a extra thing.
Yeah, and a lot of people, and this is something we've noticed if you go to our board games, our Magic TCG, our D&D, or any of these other things, that a lot of people treat gaming as kind of separate from their life, but it's not. It's a part of your life that extends into your non-gaming time, right? The way you treat people when you're gaming is part of how you treat people in real life. How you communicate is training you to communicate, right? If you are a bad person when you're gaming, or if you struggle to communicate, if you are rude, if you belittle people, if you
break your promises.
Yeah, if you break your promises, if you don't do the things to help others have fun, that's going on outside of your gaming too. It's affecting your work life, it's affecting your home life, it's affecting your relationships. So if you can find a way to develop the habits, the good habits that we talk about in this podcast, then you will have a better life. You will have more meaningful interactions with people when you start to think about your ultimate goals, when you start to think about how to incorporate other people's feelings and how to communicate well. You'll have better relationships. You'll have a better work-life balance. You'll have better teamwork. It's not about gaming. That's just the cover of the real meat of what we're talking about. Even this league, right? Notice how we kept talking about we want to incentivize what we want to see, right? This isn't about gaming either. It's a way for us to have a lot of fun, and we're going to enjoy it. But it's about crafting the kind of experience that we want to have with our friends. That's what the league's about. And gaming is kind of secondary to that. They even mentioned Randy not really being that excited about the league, but going through with it because he loves us. That's also about life.
Yeah.
So I hope that, just kind of tying it all together, I hope people hear this news from the Warfront and how someone applying this to their life has helped their relationship with their wife and helped them to have more fun in an area where maybe they were struggling before, and realizes that they can do that in their own life as well. So,
guys,
that's what I got.
I'm tearing up right now. We've got a bright season 2 ahead of us. I think this is going to be a great year for El Dorado Gaming and for My Mythical Meta. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be a good year for me.
Any last words?
Beginning of something great.
News from the Warfront.
We are branching out of our shell into an unknown subreddit that I've never been to before. This was an offering from Derek from R Gaming.
You've never been to R Gaming?
No, I don't go to R Gaming.
Oh boy.
Because it's more video gaming.
Oh, I guess that's fair.
And I simply just don't have the time in my life for video gaming. I do subscribe to the Cyberpunk specifically subreddit because that's the video game I play, but I mean, I'm really not subscribed to any other video game stuff.
Fair.
All right, well, what did they say over in R Gaming?
Okay, this post comes from R Gaming, and we have got looks like husband and wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or wife and wife, I don't know.
Could be wife and wife.
It's at least a wife.
Yeah, at least one female partner in this relationship. But we don't know. The poster says that they've been gaming their entire life, and so that they're better than their wife in pretty much any game they play. And they said the problem is that the wife hates losing. But she also hates if the poster goes easy on her. She'll know that the poster is sandbagging and holding back.
This is my wife.
How dare you let me win? I hate losing. Yeah, so it feels like a lose-lose situation here. The poster said that the wife is also a gamer, but normally co-op games or just kind of like exploring games. PvE means versus environment, right?
Yes.
Okay. So single player or co-op games, not really competitive games. They provide a short list of some games that they've played against each other. Civilization, Smash Ultimate, Mario Kart, Street Fighter 6, chess, and Mario Party. And the poster is asking for suggestions on games where the wife would have a better chance of winning, or where it would not be obvious that the poster is letting her win. He says, I can't just start letting her beat me, or she'd know what was up, and that she needs to be convinced that she won on her own. So, we've got a poster who acknowledges that their win percentages are skewed, but they don't want to make it too obvious to the partner that they're trying to make it more even. They say they're better at games, but they want to even out their win percentage. Derek, what's your first suggestion here? What do you think?
Well, this person mentioned Mario Party and chess. Both games, I feel like, trying to win Mario Party is like trying to lose. I feel like if you're losing, you'll win. If you're winning, you'll lose.
Yeah.
So you got that. Chess, I feel like that one's kind of a sneaky game. Like, you got to be pretty good to like fake being bad and making mistakes. So those are two. Don't give up on those yet. But I wanted to mention my favorite genre of games, which are these like co-op games where you and a partner, and this is me playing with Justin. He and I like play like teammates or buddies. I mean, it depends on the game. But we have to cooperate, like actually cooperate. Like, I need him to. I'm thinking of the game. It Takes Two, which is about a divorced couple that are trying to. They've been turned into dolls and they're trying to turn back into humans while they're dealing with a divorce, like a pending divorce.
I've seen lots of reviews for It Takes Two.
Oh yeah,
and they're all just shining.
Yeah, it was such a perfect game. There's A Way Out, which I think is made by the same people. Similar thing where you're like two convicts that have to work together to like escape prison and stuff. There's We Were Here Together, We Were Here Forever. There's like this We Were Here franchise where you have two people, you get separated and you have a walkie-talkie that you can communicate with. It's like, one person has one part of the puzzle and you have the other part of the puzzle, and you have to cooperate to figure out together what the puzzle is, so that way you can both advance on.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It really builds those bonds of friendship and, I guess, partnership for this person.
My wife and I used to play a game on our phones called Space Team.
Yes.
I don't know if Space Team still exists, but surely there are games like it.
Yeah, Overcooked.
Overcooked, is that one?
Yeah, you play chefs trying to, build, meals like that. You got to make a burger in the right order.
Oh, okay.
It's just like something like that. There's also one called like Moving Out, which is, you have to move your stuff out of a house.
So the idea behind these games is that, I'll talk about Space Team. Each person has a dashboard on their screen, and then each person gets instructions in their queue. And sometimes the instructions are for you, but most of the time the instructions are for your partner. And so you need to call out and tell them what their instructions are. So obviously it creates a really fast, hectic game where somebody's not saying something, and the breakdowns in communication are what make it fun, because that's what's going to cause somebody to fail. Kristen and I also loved to play Octodad on Wii and Wii U. Mm-hmm. This is a game where there's the Octodad, and he has 4 limbs, 2 arms and 2 legs, and it could be from 2 to 4 people, but each person controls a different limb. So you're trying to move Octodad through the environment and to complete these tasks, but you only control 1 arm. So Kristen, I need you to move the leg over so that we can get over there. but she's trying to do something else on her side. So whenever Kristen and I played, we would always, instead of saying you're the legs, I'm the arms, we would always say, okay, each of us is one arm and one leg. That way we had to cooperate a lot more for those.
I feel like I played that with you guys. Was there a way to
Yeah.
like have
Yeah,
like
I
three or four
think you
people?
did once.
Okay.
Yeah. I recently saw a game called Chained Together,
Oh boy. Yeah.
which is basically only up, except except it's a multiplayer and you're trying to get out of hell.
Yeah. You're literally chained to someone, and if one person falls, you both get pulled down.
Yeah. I mean, all of these sound perfect.
It's kind of a co-op game, but it's also kind of a competitive. Like, you need to make this jump, or you'll drag us both down. Like, if this person's looking specifically competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the obvious one is, Magic, or just any card game. Like, you can, you can't control RNG, and then even then, she can't see your hand, so you could sandbag a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Obviously, I'll always support recommending Magic as a game. Mm-hmm. We've given advice similar to this in a previous News from the Warfront. I think you guys should try a new game that they've never played.
Yeah.
Golf. Actual golf.
Actual real-life golf.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's a board game or a video game, I think this poster and their wife need to be on an even playing field with games they've never played before.
Russian roulette.
Oh my god,
no.
Randy.
But with like a water pistol.
He doesn't want to win now.
With a
water pistol.
with a water pistol, yeah. But I don't think you mentioned this, but Candyland is exactly 50-50.
I didn't know that about Candyland.
Yeah, I haven't played that since I was an actual child.
I mean, there's zero decision making, so it's
right.
You each have an equal chance of getting there first.
So, Benjamin, you have 3 kids.
Yep.
2 of which are probably at board gaming age.
Yeah.
And you're in your 30s. So obviously you're a lot smarter and a better gamer, whether it was video games or board games. You've got better hand-eye coordination. You've got better reflexes. Yep. You are better than these children in every way.
True.
Savage.
What are some ways that you have let them win and have them not know that you're letting them win, besides them being stupid children?
Dang.
Well, that part helps because I recently taught Ezra to play Magic, and we're using different types of decks, but sometimes there's interaction or something that I will choose not to play if he's alpha striking or if he has the potential to alpha strike and I have interaction that would blow him out and then win on the backswing. I don't always play it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do. He's got to learn somehow, but
he's got to learn who's the boss somehow.
Right. No, I mean that's interaction and
Benjamin's over here. Who's your daddy?
You? Literally?
I am your father.
There you go. So that's one way. Any game with hidden information. I know y'all already said that, but I take advantage of that. Sometimes if I have hidden information, I will just choose to play suboptimally, and they will not know. Right?
Yeah.
And another thing that I do is sometimes I will give advice. Right? Say, hey, or I'll point out things that they might miss, like I'll. And this isn't just with Magic, but with any sort of game, you can always say, "Ooh, that thing over there's open. There's no one's on that country, or no one has that spot yet." And you make sure. Now you're just kind of commenting the table, and you're acting like, "Hey, I just noticed this." But if you do it strategically so that you point it out on their turn, you say things like, "Ooh, I hope no one gets that spot before me," or whatever. And they're like, "Ooh, I'm going to go get that spot." And you're like, "No, wait, I want to do it." And they're like, "Ha ha ha, I'm going to get it, Daddy." Okay.
Your kids over there like, I'm about to ruin this man's whole career.
Right? So that's one way. Now, obviously, if that's with kids. With your wife, I would hope that she would pick up what you're doing. And she'd be like, "Stop it, you're just letting me win by pointing out all the strategic things on my turn." But it does work with kids. To just think out loud about what you're thinking, but you do it on their turn so that they start thinking the same way.
Yeah. I mean that is classic teacher strategy. You know, when I was a teacher, we literally called it think aloud, where you just model what good thinking looks like while you're doing a task. So I was an English teacher. We would have a passage out, and we would be annotating for literary devices or vocabulary or whatever. And you just go through it and you just model what you want your students to be thinking as they're reading. Mm-hmm. You know, are you asking a question, noticing a metaphor, you know, whatever. And the same thing can be done during game playing also, especially on a game with an open board with lots of open information. To say, ooh, I noticed that has a resource that nobody's using. Ooh, I noticed that player is close to winning because they have XYZ on their board or whatever. Just that out loud thinking is going to help everyone to think better.
Yeah.
You know what I just thought of is asymmetric games where I'm thinking of like Dead by Daylight, where it's 4 humans versus some kind of like monster serial killer type thing. So it's like 4v1, but the 1 is like super powered and the 4 don't really have a way to fight back. So it's, can those 4 escape before the 1 catches them or kills them or whatever? So, you know, that is already kind of built in of like, you know, versus each other. I guess what I'm trying to say. Y'all get it? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
There is a class of games called, what is it? I Cut, You Choose. So there's games like New York Slice.
Yeah, that's a great example.
I have one called Kodama Duo, which is about picking the branches of a tree. So I feel like those types of games would be good for this group, because one person has a choice, but then the other person can make a choice also. And they have to compare those choices over and over again in order to make the best number of high-value choices by the end of the game.
Yeah.
That might be a class of game that this player could look at.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. You can do Magic the same way. If they've played Magic and maybe they're better at Magic than their wife, there's always Solomon Draft is like that. You take the rows and you lay them out, and then one person picks and another person picks from the same set of cards a row or a column. And
interesting.
You lay out like, okay, you took 6 packs and shuffled them together, and then you lay out say 5 cards, and one person puts those cards in 2 piles, and then the other person gets to pick a pile for their deck, and then you get the pile that's left over.
So it's just an entire draft playing Fact or Fiction.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds fun, honestly. That sounds cool.
It might turn out that it's 1 rare and 4 commons. You might split them that way, and the person has to decide: do I take the rare card that's a good card, or do I risk not having enough cards to fill out the deck for my strategy, or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting.
I was thinking maybe party games like Jackbox. Of course, that means you get more than just you and your wife playing.
Yeah.
But gives everyone a chance to be on equal footing, unless she's got a really bad sense of humor.
My wife and I really do like the co-op games. So Pandemic is one, but there's a whole class of, Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, or Derek, I know you and your wife have done some murder mystery games too, but like Hunt a Killer boxes or things like that where you can work together for a common goal. I think those are great relationship building games to play.
Yeah, and no one wins or loses. And I want to kind of double back on, I think Randy was saying the
Russian roulette.
No,
I just want to track back on the Russian roulette idea.
The last game we ever played.
There's some real benefits to high risk gameplay like this.
How much do you trust me? Do you think I really put a bullet in here? Good lord.
I'm saying party games where people win on a different axis. It doesn't necessarily have to be where it's competitive but different. So I'm thinking of things like Wits and Wagers or
Apples.
Yeah.
See. Then this husband is just going to be posting on our gaming, guys. My wife is funnier than I am, and I can't take it.
Right. Can't handle it.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of games where you don't necessarily need to be right or play well. You just have to know. You have to know the person you're playing against instead. So like.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I was thinking wits and wagers or over under or.
Oh, Derek and Randy. Last time y'all were over, we played Worst Case Scenario.
Yes.
That game was really fun. So Benjamin, in this game, each round is based on one person and how they would rank 5 bad scenarios. So they're dealt the top 5 cards, and then they have to rank how bad they would be from bad to worst.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone else has tokens, kind of like in Dixit, or wasn't there another game that you showed me? Anyway, everybody else has tokens, and they rank what they think what they think the order that person would pick.
Mm-hmm.
It was a ton of fun, actually, because now we know that Derek is super confident about going back to 1200s Middle Ages Europe and just being like, I can survive no problem.
Yeah.
Did I say that, or did I say the other one? Or did I say it was okay?
I thought you said that you were really confident about that, because we were all saying that would be just god awful, and you were like, I'd rather do that than face a rhino.
Hang glide or so. Well, I wasn't worried about the rhino because I got poor eyesight.
Go for it, Eric. Next time we go to the zoo, just hop on in that cage.
Yeah.
show us how bad the eyesight is.
So yeah, Benjamin, that's a really good idea of saying, it's not the game who decides who wins, it's my knowledge of the other player or whatever.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You could also pick up other hobbies that aren't competitive. Maybe you could build Gunpla together.
Go take a walk.
You touch grass.
You could you could rediscover your passion for each other.
Hey now.
How you can
What
do that
about
without games?
running?
All-star.
Running,
Ooh,
pickleball.
Well, I'm thinking of like if they're asking for a competitive game, running, sprinting, pickleball, things of that nature. Like maybe she's just more athletic.
Darts.
Yeah,
pool.
darts.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
Bowl. Ugh.
Full contact football.
Yeah.
I'm confident in my chances.
But that's a good point. Yeah, finding something that she's good at outside of it, it can still be a game though. So if he's better if he's got like better Twitch fingers and whatever and wins every video game, then pick something else. If he's got a more strategic mind, go bowling, curling, swimming,
Water polo.
Yeah, exactly.
Pole vault, discus.
I think somebody said golf earlier. Just
parallel bars.
Yep, just
figure skating. Partner figure skating.
Yep. There you go. Done.
I think we've solved this guy's problems.
Well,
they're over. We've saved this marriage. We
Well-
should all be happy.
Marriage number 2 that we've saved.
So I
Wait,
want
marriage number 3.
Yeah, marriage number 3 that we've saved.
Who was the second one?
We had one from a letter.
I remember that.
We had another from a Reddit user who commented back and sent me a message. I told y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of. I don't know about the other one then.
Okay. Well, don't say it. Don't. You said the name, but maybe don't say the name.
Who?
Yes.
Are you talking about our or a different? Which? Can you identify the last name, please?
No, but we had a guy who sent us a direct email saying we saved his marriage,
Yeah.
and I'll cut his name out of it.
Yeah. Because
I'm sure I would appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We love you. And his wife.
Oh my god. And then there was the other one. It was a fairly early news from the Warfront on Reddit, and they said that we gave a lot of helpful suggestions.
Yeah. If we're wrapping up here, I think that there's a fundamental problem. Okay, we've saved this person's marriage, but they need to, they and their wife both need to reconsider certain priorities, right? So his wife especially needs to kind of look inside and say, why am I so upset at losing all the time? And do I want to, and why am I playing games with someone who's better than me? Maybe the two of them need to reevaluate and say, hey, games aren't about winning, they're about growth, they're about relationship or whatever. Maybe he needs to reconsider, is he always playing to win? Does he bring his level 10 deck to come play?
Yeah, an ultra competitive spirit.
Yeah.
In something that his wife expects to just be quality time together.
Yeah. And then, and of course she doesn't have a chance to win if he's more experienced, even in new games, because he knows the general what games are like better than,
Yeah, that's
than
true.
a layperson. And so maybe he needs to be staring at her eyes while she studies the board, and things like that. Then when it's his turn, maybe he just takes his turn more quickly, or whatever it is, so that he can go back to staring into her eyes,
Admiring her.
Wow, the way she rolls those dice. Are those Eldorado
Those beautiful
gaming
metal dice.
Yeah. The way she just drops them into that Captain's Cash dice tower.
Randy, you had
Or
something?
she secretly trains in a game that he's never played before, becomes a master of it, and then just kind of casually is like, hey, you know what? I saw this game the other day. We should try it, and then just wipe the floor with him.
That is the Randy school of gaming.
Surprise, mother trucker.
is practice a game in secret and then demonstrate that you're a master in order to totally embarrass the opponent.
No. I only did that for a game that y'all had been playing for a decade more than me.
Yeah.
This was just so that whenever we do play it, I wasn't just okay, what does the C button do again? Try to relearn the controls every time, and it's I had 45 seconds on screen. Maybe next time I'll remember what the buttons did in 5 minutes.
What game should the wife secretly become an expert at?
Minecraft,
Pinochle.
Fortnite,
Cribbage.
Street Fighter 6.
Among Us.
day trading on the stock market.
Yes. Please, Kristen, secretly become better than me at day trading on the stock market. Please.
Does she not make enough money?
Please surprise
own
me with
in the
that.
stock market. Oh God, you're killing me.
Oh, dang.
Please don't beat me in the day trading.
Man, your Robinhood account is so much better than mine. All right, all listeners, thank you so much for hanging out with us for this News from the Warfront. And honestly, take our advice to heart. Find a game that you and somebody else have never played before and make it a learning experience that you can go through together. Quality time that you can spend learning a game and learning each other. Thank you for listening. And Benjamin, Derek, Randy, thank you guys for being my great friends. Adios.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Later.
This episode was sponsored by Eldorado Gaming. Use the promo code META for 10% off your order. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. This episode was edited by me, Travis Konishek, and our intro and outro music is by Tyler Heath of the Oh Hellos.